Good morning, everyone. This is Yehuda Shamroth live from Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with me, Yehuda Shamroth. I'm currently in the United States, and I'm currently a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture, herbology, and health coaching. I am known as the nurse that does acupuncture in the Beit Shemesh and Greater Jerusalem area. Please feel to watch this live on YouTube, where you can also access all previous Wellness Wednesdays videos and webinars. And please give it a thumbs up and click on the bell for notifications for new webinars. And feel free to post comments. I want to know what topics you request about health, nutrition, and wellness, the topics that you want to hear. And so in continuing with our weekly webinar on various important health and wellness issues, I today will be talking about detox. Let's switch over and share our screen. Okay, as promised, we're discussing detox today. So what is detox? What is it? What is it all about? Is it safe? Is it right for you? We'll discuss all those details. Why we would detox, why we want to, why we would have to, why not to, from both the medical and the Western and the Eastern perspective, the Western medical and also the Eastern medical, of which I belong to both. We will end the webinar with pre-recorded interview with Sima Navon, naturopath and detox expert who also runs a company called Navon Natural Cosmetics and Body Products, which are made with all natural, organic, and toxic-free products. So without further ado, I'm going to look at my slides there. This is always something tricky for me, so excuse me. Okay. I always like to start off with a little bit of a COVID update. We see these slides every week, and they're not going to change too much, I hope. But we do know statistics are changing. We know people are getting vaccines all over the world. In Israel alone, over 1 million people have received them for whatever you believe in them. I just can't get into that. I don't want to have a discussion about that. Maybe if you request it, I'll get some expert panel going. But I myself am not the expert on this. Seems like the rules change every single day about who could be in isolation and who isn't, and who's safe and who isn't. Myself have had corona, and I'm told by many people that I cannot give it to someone and I cannot get it again. But we all know that people have gotten it again. So, just keep up with the literature as best as you can and do whatever's best for you, whatever's safe for you. That's the only advice I can give people, in addition to the advice of taking supplements if you can do it, and keep yourself as healthy as possible, because the healthier you are, the healthier we are, the less chance we're going to have of having a bad bout of this disease, or any disease for that matter. Try to get your weight down. Try to get your energy levels up. Try to get your sleep and your water and everything your mom told you about. Do it. Eat your vegetables. You will be in much better shape whatever illness comes your way, because this is not going to be the last illness or issue to come our way, unfortunately. So we always talk about vitamin D. Get your levels up. Vitamin D is big in helping decrease the longevity of your virus. It's antiviral, it's antioxidant. Vitamin C is good for healing always. Zinc stops the viral replication. Quercetin, which people cannot get a hold of everywhere, but it's the highest natural anti-inflammatory we have. You can get it in pill form or food form. We talked last week about all the red vegetables having all the quercetin, like red beets and red apples and red cherries, anything that's red, tomatoes, all those things, quercetin, natural quercetin, anti-inflammatory. Botsuela is another herbal anti-inflammatory that I recommend to a lot of people as well. You can get that at any pharmacy, and in Israel in particular, there's a company called NutriCare. You can buy Botsuela, taking 1 pill a day. It's highly anti-inflammatory, good protection. I think I went one too far. Yeah, so here are the recommended doses again. Vitamin C, 1 to 2,000 milligrams a day. Try to take your vitamin D, 1 to 4,000 a day. If you're actively experiencing corona right now, you can go up to 6 to 7,000 units of vitamin D3 a day. There's no such thing right now, as we've heard in all these years of modern medicine. There's no such thing as a vitamin D toxicity or overdose. So you can go pretty high on that. It's a big protection for you. Liquid D3 is very helpful because it goes into your system automatically. And with vitamin K, they sometimes pair together. You have much better absorption. Zinc, again, to help shorten the longevity of the disease. Quercetin, again, the doses is dependent on what your pharmacist recommends. But you can also, these days, they say include melatonin and, of course, probiotics to really keep your digestive system healthy during this whole process. So all of these supplements you take are actually getting absorbed. Okay, we always talk a lot about free radicals and antioxidants. And the reason why I'm talking about this before the detox is because, of course, all the detox foods will include antioxidants. But what are they anyway? Why do we need antioxidants, and what does it mean? And what is a free radical? So we want to eat foods that are low in free radicals and high in antioxidants. Why? Okay, so free radicals are these substances that float around your system after a lot of chemical processes take place in your body, and they're damaging cells, and they're after regular metabolic mechanism, but they're the byproduct, and they can cause a lot of problems to us. These free radicals can cause cell damage, and cell damage is, we don't even see it, but we can certainly feel it in terms of inflammation and being tired and feeling bad. So antioxidants fight those free radicals because they add a certain electron to it to stabilize it. Free radicals are unstable, and they're running around like unstable damage. They do damage wherever they go, and the antioxidants sort of calm them down, give them a little electron to keep them quiet, and cleans them up a bit. So we want to take antioxidants so we can protect ourselves from the free radicals. That's oversimplification, I realize, but I think, in order to understand why we're going to talk about these things frequently. And there's a doctor that I really, really very much revere. His name is Dr. William Li. He's a world-renowned speaker, physician, scientist, and New York Times best-selling author on a book that he wrote called Eat to Beat Disease. I'll write that in the sidebar later. He's an international expert on health and disease, and it's fighting health and disease based on diet, lifestyle, and treatments to keep your body's blood vessels in balance. So what he's saying these days are there's 10 things to eat right now to fight back against COVID. Okay, these are things you should include in your diet. We discussed them last week because they're also anti-inflammatory. Broccoli, of course, antioxidant. Keeps your cells intact, in good shape. Supercharged with vitamins and minerals, vitamin C and E, and fiber. We need fiber to move everything through the digestive tract so it doesn't sit there and cause a lot of damage that way too. Blueberries, packed with antioxidants, high in vitamin K and C and fiber. EVOO is extra virgin olive oil. You want to get the best, the least processed. That's the least processed. EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. It's the healthiest, so it has many benefits. As you know, it's very popular to know about and to read about. Olive oil these days is one of the healthiest oils we can use. The benefits include anti-inflammatory, decreasing insulin resistance, retaining natural oxidants in the foods that you eat. Pomegranate. Now, this is one of our 7 special foods grown here in Israel, and we now realize that it's probably the most potent antioxidant in the world, the most potent plant that you can eat. Loaded with vitamin C. It actively decreases gastric inflammation. It decreases blood pressure. It supports heart health. It has many antiviral properties as well. So eat your pomegranates too. Pomegranates are delicious juice, or the fresh fruit itself. Other fruits to eat, of course, these are also to fight COVID right now. Did I say mushrooms? I forgot my mushrooms. The mushrooms, no. I wanted to say mushrooms because that's important. I eat mushrooms every day myself now because of this. Mushrooms. Antioxidant. Why are they all antioxidant? Why are we eating antioxidants? Because we want to kill those, we want to neutralize those free radicals. We want to keep our cells in good shape so they don't disintegrate and be destroyed. Okay, so what do mushrooms do? They're full of fiber, protein, and antioxidants, and they're good for eating at any time of the year, especially if you're trying to fight viral disease. And they're full of something called selenium, which is an essential component of various enzymes and proteins that help make your DNA strong and protect against cell damage and infections also, which will, of course, boost your immune system. These are all immune boosters as well. So I don't want to belabor these, but what can I say? Okay. And blackberries, oyster sauce, green tea, tomatoes. What do these all have in common? They're antioxidants. They have vitamin C and K. They are healthy fats in the case of pecans. So, these are the things that Dr. Li, you should look up his book. He's an amazing author. You can see his videos on YouTube, Eat to Beat Disease. I don't give commercials for everybody, but he's amazing, so I have to. Okay, why do we want to detox anyway? What are toxins? What are we talking about here? Okay, we want to know why anybody cares about detox, and why is it such a big, it's kind of a craze, really. I've been hearing about detox, and I've done several cleanses that called detox and cleansing the body. I've done several myself. So, but there's a lot of talk about detoxification these days because people are looking for an effective way to rebalance their bodies and release all the toxic substances we have that built up in our tissues, in our body, and our organs. And we hear a lot about the health benefits. and they're designed to eliminate toxins from your body. And there's so many different regimens. We'll talk about a few. One of the things we do to ourselves also, besides all these toxins you see here, is we overload ourselves with drinking coffee and alcohol, breathing in polluted air, eating processed foods, all full of additives, all full of sugars, overeating, not getting enough sleep, feeling stressed and upset, partying hard and often. Anyway, all of these things exhaust our wonderful bodies who have their own natural detoxification system. And gradually, our ability to detox on our own gets less and less the more we abuse our body. But what are all these other toxins? It's really scary. I don't really mean for this to be a scary show, but the more I started reading about it, the more I started realizing there's a lot to protect ourselves against. The toxins are generally defined as substances created by plants and animals and microorganisms that are poisonous, that are poisons to our bodies. Okay. So a lot of people want to detox these things out of our system. And, it's not just the sugar and the caffeine and the red meat and the alcohol and the gluten. We have all these environmental toxins that we get from tin poisoning, our cosmetics, our gasoline. They talk about the BPA in plastics. A lot of people are going away from drinking out of plastic bottles anymore because of the toxins that are released. Flame retardants that are put in kids' clothing and also in furniture. Pesticides, for sure, we know about. Exhaust and pollution is a really big one. People smoking, mercury in the air, mercury in our food. Okay, I'm not trying to scare you, but we do know it's out there. We need to do something about it. Okay, we can keep ourselves very healthy. So if we ingest these high level of toxins, we know they're going to have a lot of adverse effects on our health. Okay, and after a while, our body runs out of steam to really fight it. So there's a lot said about that. I encourage you to read about how heavy metals are damaging to your body. There's a lot to say about it, and I can't go through every single thing, but we know that heavy metals can replace all the good minerals, trace minerals in your own body, like zinc and copper and magnesium. The heavy metals in the air and heavy metals in our foods. They're displacing our very own natural minerals and the minerals we put inside of our bodies through food. A lot of people eat organic vegetables for that reason. I'm going to do a whole session on toxins and organic vegetables and see why people prefer to eat organic. A lot of these times these toxins get deposited in our system, especially in the tissues, and making us more overweight if we already are. They weaken the immune system. Okay, they interfere with vitamin D metabolism. So, and there's mold out there too. That's not on this poster. At low levels of exposure, even mold in the air or dampness in the house can give a lot of allergy symptoms. And we know that all too well here in Israel. So many people have we call it retivut here. We have a lot of mold in all of our buildings because they were built quickly or maybe not adequately. I'm not sure, but many of our apartments over time in our rainy season give us a lot of health issues. Okay, so we want to talk about how we know where they're coming from now, and it's a real big problem. It's a real big danger. So don't be afraid by it. We can really fight this, and you can take good care of yourself, just like fighting COVID. If you take good care of your health, the toxins are not going to bother you nearly as badly, and you can do a lot of things to avoid these toxins. Now, Dr. Mark Hyman, another one of my mentors, he says the most widely used pesticide in our food, and it's called glyphosate. He sees it in 70 different crops, including corn and soy and wheat, and it's linked to some very, very serious health risks. So we have to be careful of everything. Look at our labels in our food. He says a bowl of Cheerios has more glyphosate per serving than vitamins. So, what are you going to eat? You're going to eat something that's in a package, or you're going to eat something that's not got all these things. And I heard many times, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. If it's not out of the ground or off the tree, don't eat it. We can't all get that way, but we're all working that way. I know we are. I know I am. So what happens to our health when we're exposed to all of these terrible toxins in the air and in the foods and in our cosmetics and everywhere? And again, I want to tell you too that as a practitioner, I see many people more than ever coming to me with these crazy rashes and tired and fatigue and all these things that they never had before. But I just feel like a lot of it has to do with the toxins that they're experiencing all over and everywhere they go, whether it's the air or whether it's the food they're eating or pesticides, all these different things. Okay, so we want to know. We're going to go through certain foods we can take, and that's where we lead into detoxing. Like, why would we want to detox? Because we are exposing ourselves on a daily basis to environmental toxins, food, skin, everything contributes to this inflammatory disease that we talked about in the last webinar. Inflammation is a terrible thing. Almost all of us have it. And one of the ways we can prevent it is by reducing the toxins. So you can see even medications like non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and aspirin and statins. Those are terrible the side effects of affecting the liver. As you see, the liver here is crying because the liver is the major detox organ of the body, which I'll talk about. But all these things have to go through the liver. The liver is totally overworked. And I can see it every day in my practice that people are living every day with liver, I wouldn't say toxicity, but they're living with liver overwhelm and overwork. This is what I see every day. Okay, another way the toxic exposure affects our health on a very minute level, on a cellular level, we see it disrupts the endocrine system, all of our hormones. So we can have hypo and hyperthyroid. We can have people who have infertility. We can have people with worsening of their diabetes, and children are not getting the proper messages to grow for growth hormone and things. These toxins can affect the gut barrier. We talked last week about leaky gut syndrome and how we get these holes in the lining of the intestine from inflammation, but also the toxins are worsening this problem. And when we have a bad gastrointestinal system, everything kind of wreaks havoc in our whole system because we need that GI tract for our immunity, for absorbing our precious minerals and vitamins and everything to keep us alive every day. It changes the immune response. Heavy metals I talked about before, they displace the body minerals. And so that's a very scary thing too. So another reason to step up our supplements is something we just can't do about it. If you live in Los Angeles, you know how the pollution is there? I don't know how these people stay healthy. I don't know. We're very lucky here in Israel because there are a lot of controls over it, and it's not nearly as bad as some places in the world. China, people were wearing masks in China for years, remember? And it had nothing to do with the viruses. It had to do with the fact that they didn't want to breathe in the pollution. I was really taken aback. I did go to China a few years ago, everybody wearing a mask. I thought it was because they didn't want to get each other's infections, and it had to do with the pollution in the air. They couldn't breathe. Okay, so again, people who come to practitioners, whether they're medical, Western medical or Eastern medical or alternative or integrative, people come with all these different problems, and they don't know why. Muscle aches, exhaustion, can't lose your weight, brain fog, headaches, insomnia, irritability. These can be caused by many issues, obviously. We talked so many times about inflammation and poor diet and so on, stress, but toxins just aggravate all of these different things. And this is people they'll finally get fed up with the way they're feeling, and they'll have to investigate this, and they'll want to do something to cleanse their system. It makes sense. But we do know that our body has its own beautiful detoxification system already. So again, keeping this body very, very healthy is going to be a great step in the direction of keeping these toxins at bay and keeping them out of your system. And if they get into your system, cleanse them out. You keep your body healthy and your body will do its job. And then you wouldn't have to run to cleansing constantly, which we'll talk about in a bit. But we know the skin, okay? You sweat out particles, you sweat out, you can have a rash. A rash kind of pushes things out of the body. You don't even like rashes. We don't like them. They itch and they're uncomfortable. They look bad. But that's the body's attempt at getting a toxin out of the system. Your lungs, of course, a major, major detox organ. You have to keep your lungs very healthy, which is why it's very scary right now with COVID-19, because people affect their lungs. The virus affects their lungs, and they can't fight off anything else in the world as strongly as they used to be able to do. So lung health is very, very important. Lymphatic system is like the secret system in your body that runs along the blood vessels, and it's the toxic. It collects all the toxic waste from the blood system. And the circulatory system, and it discharges through the liver and through the kidneys, obviously. It extracts all the toxins that it can to get it out of your system. That's why you'll find people going for lymphatic drainage massages and keeping your lymphatic health by stretches. There's a lot of things you can do to keep your lymphatic system very, very healthy. I do a lot of procedures called gua sha, which is a scraping and pushing of the skin. The physical therapists do it to decrease the scar tissue and to relieve pain, but I also do it to keep the lymphatic drainage going. We can do it in the faces to make ourselves look nicer also, but you can just keep your lymphatic system very, very healthy by drinking a lot of water too. Of course, our kidneys, our liver, and our colon, the main detox organs, with the liver being the most prominent organ. The liver activates and removes all the substances we ingest if it can, including food additives, harmful minerals, medications that have toxicity, excess hormones, and the kidneys will then filter it out. And then when it goes to the colon, the large intestine, anything that's left over in the body will be expelled, which is why, by the way, I always ask people, make sure you have a BM every day, because it's like emptying the garbage in your system. So don't forget that. Okay. All right. So, as a nurse, I can say those kinds of things without any embarrassment. Okay. Okay, let's talk about detox. There's a lot to say about detox also. There's tons in the literature. I can tell you on the Western medicine end, they're very against it. They feel like it's not safe. They feel like it's extreme. They feel like your own body detoxification system is doing a good job on its own, and you don't need to go further to cleanse and detox your body. They don't feel like it's long lasting, and it can be really harmful to some people. So I'm just going to cover a couple of those claims right there. So you want to cleanse your system. You want to feel better. And a lot of the claims out there are very, very great. And they're true about that. This is what the medical community says. The claims are really also a little outrageous. They're not realistic. So there's no way you can really detox things on a cellular level all the time, but you certainly can change your dietary habits, and you can take breaks in your life from very harmful substances. And that's going to do your body a very big favor. But what does the detox mean anyway? So anyway, in the old days, in my time, detoxification, that's what detox means. It was a term used many decades ago. It was almost exclusively referred to the process of withdrawal from alcohol and drugs, and by people addicted to all those substances. So people would go through withdrawal, and they would have terrible, experiences of going through alcohol and drug addiction stuff. So, but today's detox is a catch-all term for a number of non-traditional diets, fasts, and procedures that proponents claim to reset your body metabolism, remove unwanted pounds, and eliminate the toxins from the body. So there's such a thing as a master cleanse. There are detox diets galore. I can't even name them all. There are detox diets of every possible type out there. And we just want to know that we can participate in these with an open eye. Okay, just an open mind and an open eye. And just cleanse to your body. And you should go with a professional to give you some guidance, because once you start grabbing things off the shelf that are not FDA approved, and we don't always love the FDA, but they do try to watch out for us. But a lot of people have gotten into a big, big trouble because they've been so extreme, they've gone into kidney failure. You have to be very, very careful about the cleanses you do and the time that you put into it. Some people do it for a month. Some people drink water only for a month. There's just so much out there. And it's not always safe, especially you have to be in very good shape sometimes to start out with these things. But the theory behind cleansing is that by eliminating all these toxic foods, or healthy, the foods that are hurting you, and eating foods that are known to kind of extract the toxins out of your system, you will feel better, and you will look better, and you'll increase the longevity and the functionality of all your organs. So are these cleanses really effective though? There's really no conclusive medical evidence, but again, they come off, I can tell you, I come from the medical world. I've discussed this with a number of gastroenterologists. They won't even look at the possibilities that they work. I can't talk to somebody who won't look at the literature. They want everything studied, which is they're trying to do now, of course. But we do know that everybody knows that if you're eating healthier foods, you're eating organic, and you're eating things with high in fiber and high in vitamins, high in antioxidants, it's got to nourish your body in some way, and it has to maintain your immune health. So just sifting through all the different programs, there is such a thing called fasting. Fasting is known for multiple years. I mean, in every generation and every single culture, fasting is known to help decrease one's health. Now, you don't want to do a 40-day water fast. I think that would be really unwise and really unhealthy. There are people that do it, though. I can tell you, I've read there's a water fast diet that you have to go to a clinic in Florida, I think, and you have medical observation the entire time. And people who are so sick they don't know what to do with them, they put them on water fasts, and many of them do well, but we don't hear about the ones that don't. So we only hear about the successes. Some go on juice fasts, only juicing, all these vitamins. Our guest speaker later will tell you that that's not always wise. Using dietary supplements and commercial products, using herbs. I use a lot of herbs to help people strengthen their liver. I told you that many people come to me with liver exhaustion. I put herbal strengthening, milk thistle and things like that into their formulas to help build up their liver function and make it work better. You want to reduce your toxic exposure to toxins, and saunas, sweating it out. Sweating it out is a really good way to get toxins. That's where saunas first started back, a couple hundred years ago, that people knew that it was good for their health somehow. But we want to go to the claims of whether detox is right for you. A detox is right for everybody, and it helps you lose weight for long term. There's really no scientific evidence to support that. And in fact, a lot of these cleanses are not sustainable. You cannot be on a detox diet all your life. It's not healthy. It's really actually very wonderful to do every now and then. And it's very wonderful to do in the spring when everybody's doing a spring cleaning anyway, right? But we really want to do it in moderation. And even there are people that do extreme cleanses. I don't recommend them myself. But again, if you want to do them, that's totally up to you. And make sure you're in a very good, healthy state to begin with. Because if you have the severe calorie restriction that most detox plans, recommend, you're going to lose body fat for sure. But it's not going to, you can gain it back very rapidly. And you can also it's going to be very detrimental to your other organs. If you're a person, you have diabetes, it's not really recommended. Now you can you can clean up your eating habits for sure and eat better foods. Yeah. But cleansing might not be for you. Okay. One last word about the medical community. Harvard Health Watch says that the detox and cleanses can suggest that plants can be unnecessary and harmful. Okay, so you just have to read the labels and you have to go by good recommendations and go to somebody who's really knowledgeable about it before you start a cleanse, please. Don't just grab something off the shelf. It may be ineffective for sure, then that won't hurt you. But it could, if you're not in a good medical situation to start with, just make sure you go through a healthcare professional or an integrative medicine professional who's got a lot of knowledge, or someone like Sima who's coming up. She knows quite a lot. She knows how to work with you and your system and to look at your current state of health first before you get into a cleanse. And a lot of literature says really what helps us most is a healthy diet, adequate sleep, regular exercise, and keeping your body systems functioning at the maximum. Okay, so we talked about what these things are, and I want to go skip a lot because I have so much information all the time. Okay, you will benefit from increased also because people take supplements during these things, and the juices are so nutritious, and you're eliminating your trigger foods. So a lot of this is very, very good. That's a real positive thing. The downside to taking a cleanse or a detox is that they're very low, like I said, in calories. And then if you exercise a little bit, it can really disrupt your metabolic system. And they're very low in protein normally, and we need our protein every day. So just know that we need our protein for hair growth, for skin growth, bones, and teeth, and also to produce all of our hormones, okay, along with good, healthy fats. Okay, so they can be dangerous if you take them incorrectly. They can be dangerous if they're extreme. I'm not going to read through this whole page I have on all the warnings by the FDA because I guess people have to take it under their own responsibility to read the labels and to choose the right program that's right for them. Okay. Now let's talk next about, what does constitute, at the end of the day, what do you really want, from a detox, from a diet, detox or a cleanse? We want a clean diet. We want to make sure, what does clean mean anyway? Clean means foods that are from the ground or from the tree. They're not in a package. Okay. And they are organic. If you're doing a cleanse, you have to do organic. That's the only way to make it as clean as possible. And we know they're going to be free of pesticides and all the additives in foods. Okay, we want to take supplements that are specifically targeted for detoxing. I'll talk about that. We want to rest the organs. Fasting will rest your organs. That helps quite a lot. There's such a concept called intermittent fasting, where people eat only within a certain window of the day. And you can choose that window to be 2 hours a day that you're eating, 4 hours a day that you're eating, 8 or 12. I personally don't eat myself until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I try not to eat past 8 o'clock at night. So I do an 8-hour eating window, and the rest I let my body fast. Because if you're eating and munching all day long, actually some diets really suggest this, but I don't know if it's such a good idea because your body, yes, it's working all day long to help give you nutrition, but it's also overworking all day long, and your body doesn't need all that much food all the time. We coming from the standard American diet place, we know that hopefully we're not eating that way anymore, but we do eat the volume we eat is way more than we need. And when you get used to doing this intermittent fasting, you see that you feel great. You feel a little more energetic, not loading your body down with so much food. You want to promote elimination through the kidneys, intestines, and skin. You want to increase your circulation with exercise and refueling the body with healthy nutrients. So this is really the best cleanse you can do and the best detox. Now, if you need something further, what I always recommend is taking a look at the integrative approach. That's what I abide by. That's always, as you probably gathered by now, I'm a firm believer in approaching health and healing with integrative approach, which means you're combining conventional medical treatment with complementary and alternative therapies that have been shown to be safe and work. Okay, so this is what I subscribe to, and also one of my greatest mentors is Dr. Mark Hyman, which I've mentioned many, many times. I'm going to go through this later. Let's talk about what Dr. Hyman says. Where is he? Oh, I guess I don't have him here. Didn't put him in here. Okay, I didn't give a slide on Dr. Hyman, but what he says. He says, when you understand the power of food and that food is medicine and that it works faster and cheaper than any drug on the planet, and that you know how to use it to heal your body from everything from arthritis to insomnia to migraines to autoimmune issues and mood problems like depression, you're going to use food. You're going to use food. And this is what is involved in detox also. You're going to eliminate the bad foods and you're going to incorporate the good foods. And he feels people should detox periodically. And he feels like it, especially people who are feeling so bad. He says, unfortunately, feeling lousy has become the new normal for so many people. We dismiss things like carrying around extra weight, feeling achy, constantly being tired, having no sex drive, and increased risk for disease as natural consequences of getting older. And the truth is, we don't have to feel that way. We don't. So if you're addicted to food in any way, or your relationship with food is interfering with your quality of life, the only thing you can really do is stop dead in your tracks and do something drastic. Sometimes you do. We talked about this about diets. Sometimes when you're on a diet, you don't even want to call it a diet. People don't want to hear that dirty word, but it's got to be extreme in the beginning. You know, the Rambam was a Jewish philosopher and commentator that the Jewish people look to for all of many of our answers, to our explanations of our Bible and our Torah. And the Rambam says you have to go to extremes first. You have to go to the extreme and eliminate whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's a bad habit or a bad personality trait or a bad food habit. You have to go to the extreme first and then come back to the middle, because that's where you're going to end up eventually. But you have to be extreme in the beginning. And so Dr. Hyman has coined a term called diabesity. He says it's a continuum of metabolic damage ranging from a little bit of fat to pre-diabetes to type 2. He says if you feel like crap, he's got FLC. If you have the FLC, feel like crap syndrome, that means you have a lot of toxins in your system and you have to detoxify, and it will profoundly improve your health and your quality of life. So he wrote a book. He writes many, many books, but one of my favorite books is called The Blood Sugar Solution, the 10-day detox diet. Now, 10 days is not enough to turn your life around, and we all know that. But if you could get yourself started by removing sugar, he's like the biggest anti-sugar person. He says the sugar is the new cocaine. He's anti-sugar. So you just know that if you watch his videos. But I'm starting to be convinced myself, sugar is the evil. It's not fat. Okay, we talked about that too. But he says, you going on his detox plan, and again, I'm not giving a commercial for him. I didn't even go on it myself, but I know people who've been on it, and they were very happy by taking a week off and 10 days off. And you not only take a week off, he recommends not only from all the toxic foods and the alcohols and the caffeines and the candies and all that stuff, but he said to go on this successfully, you have to get a lot of water. You have to have a lot of rest, and you should go off of social media as well. Detox from social media. So that's part of his plan. You are detoxing from toxic people in your life. You're detoxing from the food in your life, from the social media, from everything that interferes with your clear thinking and your clear ability to make good decisions and healthy decisions. So again, I want to recommend you look into that. I don't say you have to do it, but you can look into that as well. He's very knowledgeable, and again, it's not long lasting, but it gets you started. What I say is it resets your clock. A good cleanse and a good detox, you don't do it forever. You can't sustain it forever. It's not healthy, but it will reset your clock, and you will feel great. You'll feel like you can sleep better. You can think more clearly. You lose a little weight too in the process. And so, it's a good way to get yourself, if you want to start a diet and you don't know where to begin, a good at least 3-day detox and cleanse is a wonderful way to jumpstart a great diet, because then you're already getting rid of the cravings for sugar, and you're sleeping better, and you're feeling a little bit healthier. And then you have the motivation to go forth with a better eating plan. Okay, the natural ways to detox. Of course, I talk about the natural ways too. And so it's a very busy slide I'm going to read. Eat organic. Have a vegan day each week. Have a fasting day each week, maybe. Try to decrease your alcohol, reduce your sugars. These are just things you can do without even going on a cleanse. Drink more water every morning. Um, Stop drinking coffee and tea. Well, it's up to you. I think coffee's okay. It's known to be anti-inflammatory. I drink coffee every day, and I'll never tell anybody to go off of it unless it's damaging their, causing them ulcers or something, or increasing their blood pressure. There are some reasons actually to go off of caffeine, or they're allergic. Okay. Consider using natural cleaning products. Switch off your computers earlier. Try not to have any gossip in your life. In the Jewish world, we have the concept called lashon hara, which is speaking bad speech about somebody. We're meant to refrain from that at all times, because if you have gossip and you have bad thoughts and bad speech about people, that's also very toxic. Just think about it. It can really ruin relationships. You want to exercise. You want to sleep better and for longer. You go to bed earlier. Drink your water, like your mom always said. Okay, drink a lot of water. It flushes the toxins out of your body. Choose the foods that will help you detoxify. Spirulina, we know, is the most protein-packed plant form in the world, and it's grown naturally and organically. It's like a seaweed, and if you take that in a pill form 3 or 4 times a day, it gives you tons of energy, protein, vitamin B, all the different vitamin Bs. So, and all the different foods we talked about, turmeric, ginger. Last week we know that they're moving and warming herbs. They help you with getting blood flow to the fingertips and toe tips, but they're also very highly anti-inflammatory and anti-toxic. They fight the toxins. Apples, beets, those are the 2 red quercetin foods we talked about. And okay, what we see commonly in these diet plans, which again, sometimes they're a little controversial if you overdo it. Watermelon juice is supposed to extract the chemicals from the liver and help it work more functionally. Lemon, everybody goes crazy about lemon, drinking lemon water in the morning. You can overdo that too. You got to be very careful because it changes the pH in your system. You don't want to make it too acidic. But lemon in the morning and a hot drink is really very cleansing. It's very refreshing, and it helps to neutralize the free radicals. Green tea is the best thing I think people can drink all day long if they want. It helps detoxify your liver, and it makes it function better. And it does have antioxidant capacity and helps you fend off the damage from the toxins and free radicals. And turmeric is known to be anti-inflammatory. Lots of studies, even in the medical world, about that. Now they still don't want to come out all the way and say take turmeric because, if you're on a blood thinner, of course, you have to be careful about these things. And as a herbalist, I have to know what medications you're on before I recommend all of these different herbs. And turmeric is one thing I have to be very careful about if somebody has a bleeding disorder or they're taking blood thinners for cardiac stuff, because turmeric is like a blood thinner. And that's how it thins out the blood, and that's how you get the circulation to flow faster. Anyway, you've got to be careful about that. Okay, again, how can you support your own detox? Let's say you do a 3-day detox. How do you keep it going? Clean air, clean water, buy clean food, clean products, clean household cleaners, and eat foods that support. So your clean air, they say a HEPA filter is very, very, very helpful in this. You want to filter your home. And these days, too, people have filters against antiviral filters that are very expensive, but you'll see them now in doctors' offices, and I'm trying to get one for my clinic right now as well. You want to drink clean water. You put filters in the water if you can. If you can eat organic food, there's going to be a class coming up soon where we talk about which foods are really the most important foods that choose organically. That's not for this one. Batya Blum. Hi, Batya. I didn't see you there. Okay, Batya says you don't need to vaccinate because you're healthy. Well, that's the goal, Batya. First, that's the goal. And to take your vitamins D3, calcium. Yeah, I mentioned that in the beginning. Okay. Eat your clean foods, organic if you can. If not, try to eat at least most of the vegetables being organic, and then the rest of the products, whatever you can do. In household cleaners, I haven't moved to that myself yet, I have to be honest with you, but I'm considering, going to the health food store, and I don't use that much really anymore. I don't have little children at home. I can buy organic and safe and toxic-free products. Why not? I can do that. Okay, so I want to just mention a little bit about how I could help you in this regard. I have people coming to me with addictions, like we talked about, people who want to quit smoking, and people who want to go on healthy diets and detoxes. I can advise people on this kind of thing and how to make it safe and effective for them. So I look at their whole medical profile first to make sure it's even possible for them to go on the detox and a cleanse, because they may not be healthy enough. They may have to rest and get their health up a little bit better, lose some weight, and take some supplements first, and then they'll be in a situation where they can do a very mild detox and it would make them feel so much better for a few days too, and it lasts. But there's something called the NADA protocol. It's the National Association of Drug Addiction, actually, and it was a protocol of acupuncture for the ear. It's called auricular acupuncture, and it's targeted at people different places in the ear that help the brain move along, and it supports the whole detox agenda, basically, and I'll explain that in a minute. So that's one thing I can do for people. If you come to my acupuncture office, I'll help you with a cleanse that's safe for you, and we can monitor it. We can't see really. You can look at liver enzymes. That's for another topic, looking at liver enzymes and fatty liver and all that stuff, which is a whole topic unto itself. We don't really have a way to monitor on blood tests how we're doing with this cleansing, but we can see how we feel. We have to go by symptoms. We have to go by our way we feel, and we can look at our liver enzymes to see if our liver is functioning much better. Okay, I use things in my herbals: Asian dandelion, barberry, rhubarb. Okay, these are the things you will see, and you can even buy them over the counter at health food stores yourself. Goji berries are really healthy, and they're very cleansing. Milk thistle is the best thing for liver detoxing, because it supports healthy liver. Is what it does. It's a liver support thing. It doesn't detox on its own, but it supports liver health. But you have to, again, look very much into these things. Go to a professional who can give you a tailor-made formula. I don't give people, here, take goji berries over there and take Romania over there and the dandelions there. I see what's going on in their whole entire system. If they have migraines and a stomach ache, and they came to me for back pain, let's say, I want to give them a formula that addresses all three in one bottle. I don't want to have, here, take these pills for back pain and take these pills for sleep. No, it should be tailor-made to you. And that's what a professional will do to help you. And so here's the NADA protocol. It looks kind of, I don't know if it's a good picture for you, but it's called Acupuncture Detox. Again, this started by one doctor who was treating drug addicts on the street in San Francisco. And he was so upset that they weren't getting care of any kind, but he felt like he came up with a protocol that helped them when they were committed to detoxing. So the points, they focus on different issues. So one point focuses on calming and reducing cravings and anxiety and insomnia. There's 5 needles here. You don't have to use the big ones. It's not so scary. In fact, people actually feel very relaxed after I put these in, and I can do these anywhere. You're sitting in the airport or you're sitting at your house, I can put these in your ear and we can have a chat, and it's very relaxing and very helpful. And it doesn't take a lot of effort for me to do this. I also work with a professor, I'm going to call him. He's a rabbi. He's also a therapist, and he does programs for addictions. And when he does meditations for them too, he evaluates them. He does hypnosis for them. And I come in and I put these needles in their ears before they start the hypnosis. And they really find they have a much more calm picture of what's going on after the fact. And they have a higher success in their quitting their addiction, whether it's smoking or drinking or whatever. So one for calming and reducing cravings, one for relaxing the muscles, one for the kidney, specific to the kidney, to clear the blood and reduce fear and produce, decrease excess emotional stuff. 1 point for the liver to help detoxify and to reduce anger and depression, because anger and depression is very connected to the liver in Chinese medicine and the Jewish philosophy as well. And the lung, there's a lung point, so it helps detoxify via the lung. So this is a 5-point acupuncture. I can do this for anybody, anywhere. You can just give me a call. If people are trying to quit smoking, for instance, come to your house every single day. You have to have it every day for a week. And you have to commit to quitting smoking, though, and really try not to be smoking. While you're smoking, it's not working. Okay, just to wrap things up so we can listen to our friend Sima. So we're connected to nature, and we know that we have to do our cleanses at the right time of the year. Spring is usually the best time, but people do it all year long. Okay, and our body is an intelligent system. It's very complex, and it responds to our needs. So if we encourage it gently with the kind of foods we give it, and we take good care of it, it's going to take good care of us, and it'll detox us naturally. So, but they are cleanses and detoxes are very effective ways that you can rebuild your digestive fire. And we know that we sometimes have a euphoria afterwards. I cleansed and I feel so amazing. Well, that's not going to really last. You have to keep up the good work of eating healthy. So, without further ado, I'm going to tell you about Sima. I actually read her bio in the recording, but Sima Navon lives in Efrat, Israel. She's been a naturopath of many years, and she's been very concerned about all these issues with toxins in the air. And she started her own company called Navon Naturals, where she makes skincare products and cosmetics, soaps, washes, and all these things that you can, they're all made from organic and non-toxic substances. And her website is simanavon.com. And we're going to listen to Sima talk about detox. Okay, so now to bring in an expert on the topic of detox, we have Dr. Sima Navon.
Sima, no doctor.
Oh, you're not a doctor.
Not
a naturopath, then. She's a naturopath.
A
naturopath of over 20 years of experience in the field of health and wellness. Her primary goal is to encourage people to live a healthier lifestyle and to reduce their daily exposure to harmful chemicals, which she hopes she talks about. And I think we're going to have her to bring her in on a separate meeting just to talk about toxic chemicals in the world, because she has a beautiful business based on natural skincare products called Navon Naturals. Sima enables women globally to have a healthier, high-quality option of skincare products with this, but she treats both men and women to reduce the toxicity in their bodies. So without further ado, hello, Sima. How are you today?
Hi, good morning. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Good. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but now we're okay. That seems to be the order of the day with me. I'm not a technical person. It's amazing. It's a miracle that I can do stuff like this.
It's really amazing that you do.
So tell me about you. You have a story associated with you have a detox program you offer for people. I looked at your website. It's beautiful and it's very complete. It would be the kind of thing that anybody would be drawn to if they were looking for detoxing. And tell me what you think about detoxing, how you got into it, why you provide this service.
Well, so I have a clinic and I'm holistic medicine, and I found that I was changing people's diets and recommending foods and different eating habits. And they would say to me, well, what is that food? How do I make it? And then I started teaching cooking classes. And I was writing for Arut Sheva, the food and health column, for about a year or two. And then one day I wanted to do a detox. I was 39 and I had a miscarriage and the weight wouldn't come off. It like nothing I had done up till then was working. So I said, I think I need to do a detox to just shift how my body is thinking about weight and how it's working. And
what happened? It stopped.
I asked my cooking class, do you guys want to do a detox with me? Never having done it myself. And they trusted me enough to go, sure.
And how many years ago was this? How many years ago was this?
I was 41, I think, 41. Yeah. So that was 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago was when I first started hearing about detox, and I remember discussing this in the medical circles, and they were saying, you can't measure detox, you can't measure blood tests for it, so it's just a bunch of hokey stuff. But as time goes on, it's gained much more momentum, and it's proven itself to be a very valuable tool in healthcare and detoxification of chemicals and losing weight as well, right?
Yes. So again, the goal isn't losing weight. Weight is secondary. What happens is when you remove toxins from the body, they are often stored in the body as excess weight. So it's parallel. When you remove toxins from your body, you're removing the weight in which toxins are stored, which is why it's doubly healthy. Because not only are you removing toxins, you're losing weight in the process, which overall makes the body much healthier.
Okay.
So
people shouldn't do it for a weight loss tool. They should do it because they want to be healthier, and as a side benefit, they will lose weight. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, except you can tell people that all they want, but really what they want is to lose weight.
Well,
no, it's funny.
No, but that's okay too, like you said, because losing weight is better all overall for the whole body, or it makes less pressure on your joints. It makes you sleep better, and there's all kinds of benefits. Yeah.
But if you think that the toxins are stored in the weight, so when you lose the weight, you're losing the toxins along with the weight, all of a sudden things become clearer. Because not only is it a weight loss, you start feeling so much better because all those toxins which are weighing you down, making you feel gross, for lack of a better technical term, they're just leaving and you feel lighter. You feel healthier. Somebody once said to me, she said, I feel like I used to feel 20 years ago. And I was like, that's exactly it. You're just letting go of all of that stuff. And then emotionally, you feel so much better. You're releasing also all the old emotions, which are toxic emotions, keeping you down, making you heavier and upset and angry. And, another woman said to me, somebody said something nasty to her on the street. And she said, the beginning of the week, I would have started fighting with them. She said, this morning I looked at the wife and said, hi, okay, bye, have a nice day.
Her. Didn't bother her.
No, nothing bothers you. All of a sudden it's like, hey, peace to you, you know? It's really the secret to having peace in the middle.
So you're saying it lifts your mood.
To a detox.
Right, it lifts your mood, it elevates your mood, it helps you sleep better, right?
And I feel like I'm flying when I'm on a detox. I'm high. It's a natural high. It's just incredible.
Can you walk us through what a detox program would be like in your clinic?
Well, so the bonus of doing it with me and in a group program is I build individual programs for people.
Of course. Good.
So and that's not, of course, it's like there's not one program that's right for everybody. And I really tell people, I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do or you don't agree to. This is for you, right? And my goal is to help people succeed, right? Even if you just manage to eliminate one specific food that's hurting somebody, that's enough for that person specifically. Some people really want significant, achievements, and fine, I'll make it as hard as they want, but what I recommend is creating something, and afterwards people feel the benefit, and then they're able to implement those changes slowly into their lifestyle. So over the process of a few years, they become much healthier in their lifestyle, which is much better than a quick, let's fix you in a week, and then a week later you rebound. That doesn't really have any long-term success as far as I'm concerned, and I'm interested in long-term successes.
Right. So are you still cooking for the people in your program, or do they?
I do. I'm thinking to stop.
Let me just say that Sima lives in Efrat, Israel. So if you live in America, which a lot of people are watching from there, believe it or not, we will send you her website so you can get on and you can personally communicate with Sima and get some advice from her. But if you live in Israel, all you have to do is go to Efrat or get on the phone with her during these lockdowns, and she can help you with it. But let someone like me.
That is the advantage, though. When people do it with me in a group program, then I cook for them. Not only do they get to see other people that are doing a detox and getting motivated by the group atmosphere, but also I do provide the food, which is an enormous advantage and very helpful to people.
You provide the detox foods, not all their meals all day long, right? Or how does that work?
Either just breakfast or breakfast, lunch, and dinner, yeah. But so basically, yeah. So, but basically, what I do recommend, though, for people that do it is prepare the food in advance. Prepare 3 days at a time, because motivating yourself to make food that doesn't taste good is very difficult, especially when you're not feeling good. Have everything prepared, put it in the fridge, and just take it out. It's already happened.
Can you tell us what types of foods go into a detox, and is it very severe and strict, or how do you do this? How do you set them up for success so they want to do it?
So again, I work with the individual. Like I have some people that say to me, I can't live without coffee. So I work with the coffee, I can't live without this. I can't. Fine. One person couldn't live without red peppers. You really want your red peppers? Have your red peppers. If that's your breaking point. Everybody has a different breaking point. I know, red peppers. Who would think that red pepper was that person's breaking point? Right. Yes, there are foods that you eat and there are foods that you don't eat. And again, there are two main types of detoxes. One is for hyperthyroid, and one is for hypothyroid. Most people that are doing it are hypothyroid. But on occasion, I do get hyperthyroid also. The hyperthyroid types tend to have more digestive issues, and the hypothyroid have a tendency to be overweight and low energy. So it's really just finding the balance and keeping people healthy. And keeping the thyroid healthy is key to long-term health. The longer you have your thyroid functioning without the thyroid medication, the better you'll be long-term, because the thyroid is the first thing that goes. Once the thyroid goes, all the other systems start to go. And you can delay it with medication, but it's really thyroid health is essential to everything.
Right. Well, they call thyroid they call the thyroid the master gland. It's called the master gland for a reason, right? So let me ask you, what typical kinds of food are you juicing them all day long, or what goes into this? Because
I don't juice.
There are people that don't know anything about detoxing and what foods to use, and I mean, you don't have to give the whole thing over. I'm just saying the basic structure of their day would be like eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or eating 2 times a day. Like what do you have them do?
All right. So again, it's, first of all, I don't believe in juicing except for people that are already extremely healthy. Back to the rebound effect. Don't do anything too extreme because then they'll just come back harder. So unless somebody is already extremely, extremely healthy, they don't do a juice diet.
Wow, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yes. Now I do something called a micro chopped salad. First of all, breakfast is a miso soup because again, introducing healthy bacteria to the digestive system is essential to good health, right? And believe it or not, a miso soup is very filling. You'd be surprised at how filling a miso soup is.
I love a soup for breakfast.
And also, you're unusual, but I agree with you. But most people think soup for breakfast, that's very weird. Right? So people are like, oh no, the cornflakes for breakfast.
Not anymore.
That's right. So starting off the day correctly is very important. And then for lunch, there's this micro chopped salad where if you're hypothyroid, you're leaning towards a celery-based one. If you're hyper, you go towards cabbage. So with other very detoxing vegetables. And that's really the main part is this lunch of this micro chopped salad with detox vegetables. Vegetables are detoxifying. So any diet that is primarily vegetable will be detoxifying. And then if you focus on the vegetables that are more detoxifying than others, which are the ones with either sulfur or dark green leafy, those kind of things, so then you just get a detoxifying diet. And of course, only whole grains, no sugar, no gluten, no nitrates, all those things that really cause problems for people. And then for dinner, it's really a vegetable soup, maybe the green, something like that. But it's very simple. It's a vegan diet. Again, for people that can't manage vegan, so then I offer them other options, but certainly no genetically modified foods, no factory farmed animals, nothing like that. So, good.
Okay. And then for how long does someone have to detox in order to feel really good and see some lasting results?
Most people detox on the third day. Again, it's individual. So then I do it Sunday through Thursday. So the last 2 days are just for pleasure because they feel so good, and you just want to stay on it when you're on it. It's pretty impossible to live your entire life like that. But once you're on Shalom, it's like, I could do this forever. And then comes Shabbat. And all of a sudden, you're back to back in the beginning. But, so, yeah.
Okay. Well, Sima, I think this is amazing, and I'm really excited because I have a following now for people who are listening in on Wednesday mornings, and I have local people, and we're going to come to you as a group, God willing. I'm going to organize something, so thank God you live nearby. I was just in a frat yesterday, even during the segment, because I was delivering herbal medicines, and also I take care of the Chayalim, I take care of the soldiers, so I have special permission to drive. I wouldn't just do this willy-nilly, and I don't come in contact with a lot of people that I'm not supposed to, but I was there, I couldn't stop. But I could organize something like this, so thank God that you're there, and I'm very excited about getting more information. And before we go, I want you to tell us a little bit about your products, how you got into the products.
I'm having fun. So,
that's amazing.
So I don't know if you see behind me, I have here my line of products.
No, it's one thing close up because we can't see something. It's a little blurry. By the way, I use Sima's products in my clinic I do facial acupuncture for rejuvenation, and I use Sima's serums on the patients so that they go out feeling and smelling amazing. And it's your previous products before you change the label, but they're still the same good things.
Yes. So I basically have fun. So you asked me how I got into it?
Yeah.
I'm an aromatherapist. Part of my naturopathy studies was aromatherapy, which I was using in massage. And when I studied, I had 3 small children, and the teacher would talk about cosmetics, and I'm like, I'm not doing cosmetics, and I'm buying my own products. Like I was like, with a baby, I'm supposed to be making my own moisturizer. I don't think so. Not happening. But then, once you switch over to healthy foods, it's really, you start wondering what's in the cosmetic products you're using, and you start reading the labels, and there are a lot of questions. I mean, how many of you can actually understand the label on your cosmetic products?
All the additives, yeah.
Pronounce can you pronounce what's on the label? If you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't be using it, unless it comes from India with like those 5-syllable words that are not.
Ayurvedic, right? Ashwagandha is a good one.
No, I use a hair cream. It's called Kanyonyodi or something like that. I'm like, I can't say it. Kanyonyadi, whatever. Doesn't matter. But so it's really the next natural step, and it's also like the next natural step to cooking, because it's the same thing, but it's without calories. You know, it's like the same idea of blending the herbs, the spices, because that's really what the essential oils are from. Black pepper, coriander, dill,
Exactly.
myrrh, you know, like turmeric, all of these things are coming from the kitchen. They're condensed, very, very condensed. And then there's oil, but it's on your face and you're not eating it, and there are no calories. And it's really, really good for you. The same way that eating healthy makes you feel good, putting healthy products on your face makes you look incredible. It gives you this beautiful skin and glow.
Wow.
Yeah. And
well, you have beautiful skin, and that's a real inspiration to us. And I want to tell you that I have lately, I don't know what's going on in the environment here in Israel, or if it's from stress. It could be that, obviously, but we're doing a lot of lockdowns and things, and people are eating poorly and not sleeping. They're staying up all night long on their computers. I don't know. I've had about 5 people in the last 5 months. That's like 1 a month, saying to me, I've had allergies in my skin I never saw before. I don't understand what's happening. And they say, the doctor told me I might be allergic to my shampoo or something like that. This is way more often than I've seen before. Way more often.
So, okay, first of all, mask wearing means that the toxins are staying underneath the mask. Also, toxins from the digestive system are coming up. That bacteria is staying here in this area, and it's making everything exacerbated. In addition, the shampoo contains sodium sulfites, which is toxic, right? It's a grease remover. It's something that you would use on machinery. So, yeah, it is known that sodium sulfite is an allergen, and it is known that it causes, especially like a restaurant here, right? But normally you might not see it because, again, when this area is exposed, it breathes more, and so the toxins are being released, and there's less staying here.
So I thought I saw a woman too that I thought she had a mask rash, and everybody's telling her she's got something else, and medical people can't figure out what's going on with her. She doesn't have any other symptoms except the rash, and I'm thinking it's the heat rash, maybe from the mask, or like you said, in the same area. So we'll have to look into this.
So I want to definitely switch shampoo, toothpaste, so all of those things, anything that has suds contains sodium sulfite, and yes, it is very bad for you. So switch to a natural shampoo like a Castile, like Castile soap. So that's a good shampoo. Either make your own toothpaste or switch to a natural toothpaste. You know, all those things that can help you. But yes, your cosmetic products contain many, many toxins, and the FDA allows them. Europe has cut back and reduced the number of toxins in your cosmetic products. The FDA doesn't forbid anything. You could use the most toxic ingredients because they say it doesn't get absorbed into by your skin or into your bloodstream. However, and this is probably one of the things that motivates me to do what I do, 50% of tumors, breast tumors, contain toxins that are found in cosmetic products.
Wow. All right, listen, I told you it would be another session. I really want to do another interview on this particular topic alone, because I talk about it in passing, and every single lecture that I'm giving here, you know, there's so many toxins we're exposed to because of the pollution, because of pesticides, because of additives to food. You know, we're eating like 20 pounds of toxins each person. I mean, people don't really, I don't think it sinks in. So we're going to have another session with you, and I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to, when we have hooked up to the other media that I'm broadcasting from tomorrow, I will be putting your website. Right now it is, what is your website? You can just tell us.
SimaNavon.com.
Okay.
SIMANAVON. SimaNavon.com.
Thank you for
follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. I'm out there.
Wonderful.
LinkedIn too.
Okay, fantastic. And we're looking forward to doing a detox with you and getting a hold of your products. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, all the best. We'll be in touch. Bye.
Okay, so that concludes today's program, and I'm sorry we went a little bit over time. And we hope to see you next week at Wellness Wednesdays, when we talk to Shlomo Feinstein about fermented foods and how they can benefit your digestive system, the whole thing on digestion. We're going to do the whole gut health thing next week. And thank you very, very much for joining us, and have a wonderful, healthy week.